Hi everyone, Vinay here. Welcome back to my channel Learn Coding with Vinay and playlist ASP.NET Core MVC. In previous video, we discussed the agenda of this mini video series that we will be working on a small MVC application and we'll work on the unit test of it. Right. This is part 1 of that same video series where we will implement the MVC CRUD and search functionality using EF code first approach. Right. And later in part 2 and 3 we will work on the unit test cases. Right. So let me take you to the application. So as of now, I have just created the blank solution, which is MVC unit test, and in that I have added MVC unit test dot web project. This is just a simple MVC template and MVC application. I have also run the application. Let's see what does it come up with. So it comes up with by default this home and privacy page. Right. So nothing fancy at this moment. Just created the sample project. Now let's work on implementing the CRUD and search functionality. Let me stop this. Okay, so as a first thing first, let's go to views, sad and layout.cshtml, and in that let's add two more menus for product and product search. So since we will be using entity framework code first to implement these functionalities, we will have to install the required packages. And the required packages are, Microsoft Entity Framework Code.sql, since we are using MS SQL as a database, Microsoft Entity Framework Core.tools, Microsoft Entity Framework Core.design, and this is Microsoft.Visual Studio.web.code generation.design. It is not required as a part of Entity Framework functionality, but I'll still want to install because we will be generating a lot of code using scaffolding to save time. And so that's why this package is required. And so let me go ahead and install this one package, and remaining I'll install in the background to save time and video length. And so what do we need to do? Let's go to tools, NuGet package manager, NuGet package manager, manage NuGet packages for solution. Then go to browse section and let's just copy paste the name we have taken from there and let it search. Select this one, Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.sql server, and install it. So make sure we are selecting the right project. We are going to install it into the web project, and also make sure we are choosing the right version. Since the MVC project was created in core framework 9, we'll have to take this also as a 9 latest version only. So we'll be taking 9.0.17. Let's say install. Say I accept. Uninstall button has enabled and install is disabled, so the package is installed. Let me also show you where we can see it. We need to go to dependency, expand packages, and over here we can see the install package. Now what I'll do, I'll install the remaining package in the background and come back. So this will help actually in saving the video length. So I have installed the packages. You can see entity framework core related packages are installed over here. Now we are still pending with the one. I want to show you it installing because it does not follow the core framework. Oh, no, it does also. So let's, earlier we installed entity framework core 9.0.17. Now here we have 9.0.12. So whatever is latest that we'll have to take. So let me go ahead and install this one also. I accept. So uninstall button is enabled. packages installed, we can see 4 packages over here now. Once you are done with package installation, make sure to hit this save all button, because this package installation has an entry in our project file, right? So that project file needs to be saved. So that's why I always keep this practice. Now let's move to the next step. Now we are ready with package installation. Let's go ahead and configure the connection string in app.setting.json. Let's go ahead and add it over here. I have it readily available. I'll just copy paste it. So it is giving suggestion also, but let me test this. Let me just give it as a UTDB. And currently I am using MS SQL Express version installed in my machine only. Right. So let's save this. So this is actually my machine name, and this will be the database name. And remaining I'm keeping it as it is. We close this, and close this. Now let's go ahead and add a model. We'll be having a simple example of product model. So I'll just say right click on model, add a class called model product, add class, give it a name as product, and let's say, so we have the product class. Now let me go ahead and add the required properties. We'll keep it very simple. So I have the code ready. Let me copy paste it. Right. So what we'll be doing, we'll have simple ID column, product name, category, product specifications, and price. Right. So we'll keep this simple, and we'll have to add a using for this. That will be system.componentModel.data annotations, because for this simple data annotation validations we'll need that. Now the errors are gone. Let's move to the next step now. So we are ready with now the product model class. Now we need to do is to add the DB context class. So let's go ahead and add one more folder in the project called data, and in that we will be adding one class that is called DB context. Add, let's say, folder, give it a name data. Let's say one more add, this time class. We will be adding the DB context class. So we'll give it a name as DB context application DB context. Let me just copy paste, add. Now this needs to be inherited from DB context, right? Because so by saying this, we are letting our class know that okay, you are supposed to use entity framework core functionalities, and rest of the application will rely on this DB context class to perform database operations, right? For that we might have to add entity framework usings, certain usings. Let me go ahead and add them. This is good. We remove this. It has to be DB context, right? And in that, let me copy paste the, it is giving me quite bit of code, but let me copy paste what I have already. Unit test dot, I think this is web dot models. Okay, this is good. So this is a DB set called products. So ultimately when we run the migration, there will be table called products in the database, right? And we also want to add few values into it. So what we'll be doing on model creating, we'll add certain values to this table so that we have the data ready when we are working on CRUD and search operation. Right. So you can pause the video and check this code out. It's quite simple, So if you wanna add some seeded values, pre-seeded data into your database table, you can use this on model creating method, and you can create that model data, and while running the migration, it will push the data into the database table. Right. Now let's move to the next. Now we have done the DB context. The next part is to register the DB context into the program.cs. So what do we need to do here? We are going to tell our application that okay, you are going to use DB connects this DB context for the entire application, and at the same time, let me just copy paste the code and then I'll explain it. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are telling our application that okay, you are supposed to use this DB contact class, which will ultimately use this connection string, and in the connection string we have already defined which server, which username, password, and which database to connect with. Right. So let's go ahead and move further over here. So let me add the desired namespace over here. I think entity framework will be required, and web.data. Okay, so this is good. Let me close this. Let's move to the next step now. Now see, we are ready with defining connection string, we are ready with creating model, and we are also ready with our DB contact class. Now the next thing we want to do is to run the first migration. So what do we need to do? We need to go to tools, NuGet package manager, and open the package manager console. Let's just clear all this text, and let's have the command add hyphen migration. Let's say call it initial migration. Say enter. So migration has started. It will create one C# file in our project, which will be ultimately used by the another command, which is update hyphen database, to run the migration. So let's see. Wait and watch. Yeah, so we can see it has generated a migration file. There will be a migration folder created also, and in that we will have this file. If you go ahead and check this out, then what it is going to do, it is going to create a product table with this many columns, data types, length, and everything. Then it is going to insert this data. Right. Now the next step is to update the database. Update hyphen database. So let's go ahead and update the database now with the same migration file. Let's wait and watch. So database migration has run successfully. Let me just scroll through and see if there are any error or warning. So it's good, we don't have anything. Let me go ahead and open SSMS and see whether our database and table, product table, was created or not. Let me go to right click over here, refresh, refresh. Let's wait. Let's go ahead and see if the UTDB is created. Okay, excellent. Let me go ahead and check the product table over here. So let's expand it. Let me write the query. So we have our UTDB database, and we have the data in the table as well. Right. So let me go ahead and close this. Actually, we don't need this now. Now let me close this all open files. Now the next thing we want to do is to use scaffolding and have the CRUD operations ready. Right. So what we will be doing, let's say Let's say we'll go to controller, right click, add controller. Let's choose MVC controller with views using entity framework, right? And this is the reason why we have added that package for code.design, because we will be scaffolding everything. So that will give us the controller required views, and we will have the data access code, DB context code also in the controller itself, right? So basically by doing this, our CRUD functionality should be working. So let's wait. Okay, so it has come down. Let's select product as a model class. Let's select DB context class and let it generate everything for us. Add. Let's wait. So we have the core controller code ready. The index method, it is giving us it is returning on the index view with the desired code. We have the details. We have the create, get, and create post also. Delete, get, delete post, everything. Right. So now let's save this and run this once. So the project has run. Let me go ahead and click on products menu. It should bring the product list. See, the products are listed. So basically our product listing functionality is working. Let's go ahead and check the other functionality also. Create new. Let me mark this as delete this new product. Just a random. Let's say it's food. Let me give this same. Let me mark price as 100. And let's say create. Let it be 10. Let's say create. See, new product got added. Let's try to edit it. Let's edit it. So basically we are checking here because we have generated the code using scaffolding. So all code, we have not written any single line. All code was generated by Visual Studio itself. We are checking over here whether it is working fine or not. Alright, so let me mark this as updated. And I have made price as 100. Let's say save. So that is also seems to be working fine. Updated this 100. Now let me delete this product. Delete this, and the product is gone. So the CRUD operations are working very nicely. Right. So let me stop this. Let me stop this on Visual Studio. Now one thing to note over here, that since we have scaffolding everything, our database access code, which is based on the DB context class, that is everything is in our controller only, right? So as a programming perspective, this is not a best practice, to write database access code into the controller itself. Ideally controller should be responsible for request, react, accept the request, and respond to request by generating the response, right? So what we will be doing, we will be adding one more layer in our project, that will be a service layer. So in real world project you will find this, now this service layer project can be part of the same project also, or there can be an entire architecture which has a separate library project altogether. To keep this simple, I'll add this service layer into this project only, which is MVC unit test.web. So we'll have a dedicated folder for it. So let me go ahead and do that. Right, so let's do this. So let's go ahead and add one more folder in our project, that will be services. Services. Right. Now let's go ahead and add the required interface and implementation class. So first let's add interface. Give it a name, I product service. Enter, and add a class. Add class, that would be product service. Add. Now what do we need to have over here? in let's go to first iProduct service. We will be having the CRUD operation defined over here, right? So let me go ahead and add these functionalities. So that services, and let me add the required using for this, which will be project.web.models ideally. Let's say, what does it suggest? Yes, the second one. Let me go ahead and do this again. Right, so I have imported the project.web.models, and the error related to product entity are gone now. Now let's go ahead and implement it over here. So what do we need to do? I have the code ready actually to save time. So what we will be doing, however, I'll explain it. So we'll have to inherit this from our iProduct service, and in that we will implement the respective functions. So let me go ahead and add this code, and again let me correct the namespace over here, because this will again from the services. Let product is okay. This has to be dot web dot models, and now this is good. Okay, everything looks good. We have one error over here. Let's see what it is. So not sure what was wrong over here, but I just retyped this to list async and it worked. Right. So we have moved our database access code to a service layer. Right. Now the next thing we want to do is to update our controller to have this code. So rather than having this DB context code right within the controller, we will have the service. We will have the database access code via a service class. Right. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and remove this. We don't need this. So instead that we'll have to add a service private variable for the service. So wherever there is error, we'll have to fix that. Right. So what do we need to do? First we need to do is to this controller constructor, earlier it was accepting DB context class. We'll have to make it accept the iProduct service. Right. And let's go ahead and move with the other method. So since here we were returning the db context dot products dot list, now we need to return the our product service dot get all sync method. Right. So we'll have to remove this code and have the respective code. So now let's go to detail. Detail, we will have to make sure that we are using this. And so this is good. Let's move further. So we have these two line of code. We don't need these two line of code. This is create post. And what do we need to do? We need just simple, we need to have this one line of code that is actually our service dot add async. Similar way we'll have to do it for other method also. So edit get we need to retype using this, and id, since it is a question mark, let me remove this question mark. Right, so this is good. Let's go one by one, and we don't need this now. Again we'll have to replace it with the update method. So this is also good. Now we are into the delete method. So for delete also, we don't need, we'll have to replace this with the get by id method. Again let's delete this because it is not optional. We have defined this as not optional, and here it was marked optional in the root, so that's why we are removing that. And in the delete, again let's replace the method one by one. So again db context has to be replaced with the product service methods. Right, so let me go ahead and copy paste this, save changes, we don't need this. And product exists. Okay, I don't think we need this now. Product exists. Let me see where it is called reference. Where is the reference of this? Product exists. Okay, so this has to be context dot. Okay, let me see. Let me check. Yeah, ideally we don't need this method now. So let me just comment it out and let me comment out the code where it is used. We don't need this now. We can convert this also, but as of now, let's keep it. So we have converted all the code now to use the service layer. Now let's go ahead and run this. So we seems to have error at one place. Okay, this needs to be corrected again. Save it and run it. Application has run. Let's click on products and let's see if the index page is coming properly or not. Okay, we missed to register the service into the program.cs. So let's go ahead, open program.cs and register this service over here somewhere. So let's put it down, the code to register service in program.cs. Stop it and reload the application. Let's say project has run. Let's click on products, fingers crossed. Now the product has loaded. Now these CRUD operations are using the service layer. Let's test it once, create once, and let's have this category for, let it be something. Let's create. Okay, it got created. Let's try to edit. Okay, make it, let's say 105. Let me change this to simple this. Save. Okay, so it is working also. Let's go to delete. Let's click on delete and delete. So delete is also fine. So the CRUD operations are working fine. Now let's stop this and move further towards implementing the search functionality. Let me stop this. So first let's go ahead and add one view model for search, because we will be requiring a search model. We will, based on certain search criteria, we will list the product on that page, right? So what will be those search criteria? That for that we will have to add a VM class. So let me go ahead and add project search VM and I'll explain what it will be. So this has to be product search VM, and let me put down the required properties over here. So let me just copy paste what I already have. So what we'll be doing, we'll be implementing product search based on a search text and minimum price and maximum price. So this will be our filter criteria, right? This one property will be required whether the search was performed or not for that, and this is the result, search result, right? So VM is in place. The next thing we want to do is to have the service method and implement it, right? So what we are going to do, let's me open iProduct service here. I'll have the search method that will have search text, minimum price and maximum price, and all are optional actually, right? Optional parameter. Now let me go ahead and implement the service method. So at the end, let's go ahead and add this method. Let me explain this what it is. So what we are doing, we are accepting search text, minimum price and maximum price as input. Based on that we are querying the table, right? If search criteria was provided, it will bring out the query, build the query based on the search criteria. If not, then it will come probably here and check for the minimum value and maximum value. That way it will build the query, and at the end it will convert dot convert to list and return to the calling program, right? And remember one thing, understand in entity framework that over here we are not firing any query. This is query building. Here actually SQL is never processed. It is processed over here when we say dot to list or dot to list asyncs or something, right? So keep that in mind. Now we are ready with our product service search class, search method. The next thing, we already have the menu in. Next thing we want to do is to go to controller, product controller, and have the search get method and search post method. So what we are supposed to do, let's have first the search get method that will load the blank form, right? Save it, and let's have the search post method that will actually return the result, right? Okay, now let's go ahead and add view also for this. So I'll right click on search and add view. Add view. Let's keep it empty. Later I will copy paste the code what I have. Give it a name, search. Let me see. Just give me a moment. Yeah, let's give it a name, search. Add. In the blank temp view, I'll copy paste the code what I have, and let me explain quickly this code. What we are doing, we are creating the filters on the top over here within the form tag. We will have the text boxes to enter the either product name or category name, and then minimum price and maximum price parameters, and then we will have the search button. Based on the search, here we have used if the search was performed. If the search was performed, then only we are supposed to display the search, and if search has resulted in no products, then no products found, right? So you can pause this video and check out this code. It's quite simple. Let me save this, and this is good, this is good. Okay, let's go ahead and run this now. Project has run. Let's click on search button, search products. So we have, good, we have loaded. Let's say I want to search product with food category. Let's say search. What does it come up with? Okay, so it did resulted in something, right? So it is working basically. Let's try to work on the range also, 35 to 55. So let me give this 30 to 60. Let's search and see if that is working. So 30 to 60, this is also working. So basically our CRUD operations and search functionality is working. So this, this CRUD and search are quite a common functionality in any application, right? So we are at this moment, we are done with implementing the actual functionality. Now in the next video, we will work on the unit cases. So thanks a lot guys for watching this video, and see you in the next video.